Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the stream. I'm going to be your host, The Sound, and I am excited to bring another broadcast of the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight we are watching a Div D East match between Bananumnums and Heavy Group Therapy. We're going to see how well I do pronouncing Bananumnums throughout the evening. I may just call them bananas in the heat of the commentary, but I'll try and preserve the integrity of their name as long as I can. It's going to be a best of 3 series tonight. Hopefully we get to go to all 3 games so we can see what these teams really have to offer. I'm excited at the prospect of seeing how they face off against each other. Giving a little bit of background on these two teams, Bananumnums, our home team, are returning to Division D East after a somewhat tumultuous season in C last season, Season 16. They had some roster troubles, and so they're back here with a retooled roster, ready to give everyone in Div C, or Div D rather, their best. And on the other side of the battlefield, there's going to be Heavy Group Therapy. They are a new team this season, and they also are sporting new faces to NGS. We've got rookie seasons for a good number of their squad. So it's great to have new folks joining up and being a part of our grassroots league. Let's take a look at the standings for the division to see how everybody's shaping up. We can see Heavy Group Therapy, they're in 3rd. They're doing well with 1 win thus far. Of course, everybody in the division has 4 points because of the forfeiture of the Red Dragons team. We're sorry to see them go, but that kind of explains why there are already so many points distributed this early in the season. So as I said, Heavy Group Therapy there in 3rd, and Bananumnums in 7th place presently. We can take a look at our battleground selection here to show where we're headed for Game 1. The coin flip was won by Bananumnums, who opted for first pick. The map bans were for Infernal Shrines and Braxis by Bananumnums, and Towers of Doom and BOE for Heavy Group Therapy, who opted to take us to Alterac Pass for our first game. Alterac, a battleground that favors scaling compositions given how late it typically goes. Also really takes advantage of split pushing heroes in the early phases. Being able to get chip damage on structures can be very effective, just given the slow channel of that objective. And of course, always worth mentioning, the null camp in mid. It is a powerful camp. It respawns very quickly, and so having at least one hero or more who excel at capturing that mercenary camp so that it can be pushing every time it's available is another important draft consideration. So we'll see how our two teams approach this battleground. If they do favor the split pushing approach, or if they are more intent on grouping up early and trying to secure those early objectives and get a structure lead through that. All right, we've got them in the lobby here, so we'll probably be off to start relatively soon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you. Always great to have folks turn up, show up, and cheer on all of our teams. Be sure to let them know in chat who you're supporting when they come back and watch the replay. I'm sure they'll get a kick out of it. And also, you know, what's Twitch chat without chat, right? It's a live stream, so let's talk about it. A little bit more about these two teams. I mentioned it was a rookie season for a few different members of Heavy Group Therapy. It is also a rookie season for a few of the Bananumnums squad. Craptacula, Falk, both are, and Grumpy Kitten. All three of them are new as of this season, according to my research on the NGS section of Heroes Profile. Big shout out to Zamil for always supporting the community with all the hard work that gets done over on Heroes Profile. And I know that they just went through a big shift, converting to a different server or something like that, and there was a rewrite of the site, and I don't know how to code, so I could be making all that up. Looks like we are just about to get started here for Game 1. Excellent. So let's get into the draft and see how our two teams get going here. A little bit about these teams' picks. I noticed that neither team necessarily subscribes to what a lot of us think the current meta heroes are. We are likely to see unfamiliar or less common heroes out of both of these squads. One that stuck out to me, of course, was Bananumnums. Seems to have a pretty strong preference for Nazebo. Nazebo is a hero that scales well into the late game. Alterac is a battleground that scales into the late game typically, so we could very well see the Nazebo picked up here. But we also see things like Stitches and Alexstrasza and Zeratul from either one of these teams. There's the Nazebo ban. Looks like Heavy Group Therapy have done their homework. They don't want to deal with the potential threat there. Viral Infection is a very strong level 20 power spike, so I'm not too surprised to see them. And a strong healer choke coming out of Bananumnums, really trying to narrow the pool available to them. I expect that means we will see an early pick on the healer selection, perhaps even first, further narrowing the options available to Heavy Group Therapy. Next ban here for the red team. I'd expect a Vala, based on the scouting I've done. Looks like it's going to be Johanna instead. Johanna, always a strong pick. She scales well. She's sturdy and reliable in the early game. She has a reliable interrupt for the objective channel with her blind. And there's the Vala first pick instead. Vala is a favorite hero by Bananumnums. I think it is their most played. All right, Anubarak, excellent. Kind of a tech pick for the battleground, followed up by Junkrat. All right, both really strong heroes for the battleground with their ability to zone the objective in the form of Junkrat and solo cap the objective in the form of Anubarak through his trait beetles. So a great opening for Heavy Group Therapy. We'll see what these next two picks bring for Bananumnums. They already have a pretty good damage answer for Anubarak's HP pool in the Vala. Her auto attack damage definitely is not something that the Beetle loves to deal with. And they're going to follow up with the Brightwing and Stitches picks. A global, always solid on Alterac, and Stitches can do some pretty funky, messed up stuff around the objective and hooking enemies into his mid-fort. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. Bananumnums still missing an offlaner. I expect to see a ban on one here. It's going to be a Li Ming ban instead. Okay. Hogger is still available. I'm not sure if either of these teams prioritize the hero. He is a excellent choice for capping the null camp that we were talking about a little bit earlier. We can see the Alex Straza ban. So 3 healers banned now for heavy group therapy. Them not selecting a healer in that 1-2 pick may very well come to bite them here. I'm not sure how much flexibility exists in that role. All right, we've got Leoric and Oriel. Oriel, interesting, okay. Leo, definitely a hero that scales well into the late game. Oriel, I think, is going to need another hero to act as her hope battery. I don't think of Junkrat as a traditional consistent damage dealer, which would feed that trait healing. All right, Blaze, excellent, and Tassadar.
Order comes justice.
So with this last pick, I think heavy group therapy kind of need to get a hold of a better battery. Cassia is available and can scale well. Greymane and Sylvanas, both decent on the battleground. Something in that auto attack family that can get consistent damage output to fuel the hope of Oriel would be great. Zeratul instead, okay. So let's take a look at these drafts as these teams go through any swapping and load into our game. So Vala, Brightwing, Stitches, Blaze, Tassadar for Bananumnums. They've got great objective interrupt with the Blaze and Tassadar. They can do some funky stuff with the Stitches, hooks into Midfort, like we mentioned. And then on the other side, Heavy Group Therapy have opted for a Noob, Junkrat, Leo, Oriel, Zeratul. The Oriel doesn't seem to have a traditional battery, as I mentioned. Zeratul, Leo both scale well into the late game, however, so it might not be an issue for them. We're going to have to see how it all plays out. So let's get into it for game number 1 and introduce our teams. Here on the left side in blue, we've got Bananumnums. Code Monkey playing Brightwing, Falk on Blaze, Craptacula on Stitches, RXG Maverick on Vala, and Grumpy Kitten playing Tassadar. To the right in red, we've got Heavy Group Therapy. Bird playing Zeratul, Uga on Leoric, the Wanguin on Oriel, Trolls playing Anubarak, and Mac rounding it out with Junkrat. As we get into our first wave of the game, we can check in on our level 1 talent selections. We do have Hungry for More for Stitches, the Globe Quest, which grants movement speed every 20 globes, so another scaling focus, and at level 1, it's Seeker Shadowhunter is what it's called. Shadowhunter is also a globe scaling quest, kind of belies a auto attack build forum bird. We've got our teams kind of feeling each other out here in the mid lane. No major damage spent on either side. And we've already got our offlaners headed off to bottom lane. We've got Blaze and Zera. And we've got Uga getting a little bit of damage onto Grumpy Kitten here. No sustain for the Tassadar means they might have trouble with that lane if Uga continues to get those auto attacks and drain hopes. 1 minute on the clock means that we are off to our camps. Mac and the Wanguin already taking care of this on the right-hand side. Maverick and Code Monkey getting busy on the left-hand side of the battleground as well. Really good to see these teams on top of these macro considerations. As mentioned, this camp is very important for both sides. Looks like Uga has been getting the wave clear advantage over Tassadar in top lane. So they've been able to come down to mid and help push that out ahead of Grumpy Kitten. The later capture on the Knolls for Bananumnums will give them an easier defense here. However, if Heavy Group Therapy continue to get their camp out with that same cadence time and time again, they will absolutely win out in the long run. There will be more camps that they will have unlocked and captured by the end of the game. Checking in on our level 4 talents, we've got unstable anomaly. There you go. For Brightwing, increasing the slow on polymorph, which will make it a lot easier for the Stitches to set up and hit those hooks. Vala has opted for Fire at Will, and Arsenal at 1 and 4, going for that W build. Oriel, of course, repeated defense at level 4, will increase the damage and knockback of her whip stun. Detainment strike is what that's called. I will never call that the right thing. And it looks like we've got Bananumnums set up right on time to start the camp once it spawns. Mac has started as well, but without support from the Wanguin, they're going to have a hard time taking it solo. And there's the Oriel rotation now. Excellent. Checking in on top lane, Grumpy Kitten has been pushed back a little bit by Uga. And we do have Trolls and Bird in range, potentially looking for a gank here. Grumpy Kitten playing it very safe with lots of Heavy Group Therapy out of vision, doing a great job to check that bush and finding Trolls. Here we can see Bananumnums committing 4 heroes to the objective, but Mac is in range to get lots of stalls. Oh, they miss the stall on Maverick, and the grenade comes in a bit late, so Code Monkey gets first channel there. Heavy Group Therapy are gonna have to fight back in to get control again, but Uga's falling low. They've taken the armor shred, and there's the wall from Tassadar. They are gonna make it out to that bush, and Bird is now onto Grumpy Kitten. One more Q should do it, but they're gonna get the phase shift in time. Falk peeling once again, and there goes another channel attempt for Bananumnums. A strong early presence on this first objective, committing with all 5 heroes. It is giving Heavy Group Therapy a little bit of damage and opportunity to get siege done here on this mid fort. We've got level 7s on both sides now. This is a pretty big power spike for Bird with Seeker in the Dark. They're able to stick to targets a lot better now that they've got that blink on their W. Anything else out of the blue here? We've got Sticky Wicket and Chattering Teeth. Alright, excellent. A trap build for the Junkrat player. And it's a 3-hero commitment. Craptacula, Falk, and Code Monkey getting as much siege as they can down here in bot lane. Maverick able to do plenty of push in mid, and Grumpy Kitten chunked very low, will get the phase shift from Code Monkey there. So front wall of mid fort will go down, as well as most of front wall in bot. Checking in on top, Grumpy Kitten and Code Monkey are likely to finish off this second tower. And both teams neck and neck on the race to their heroics. No hero kills on either side. Minion experience is dead even. Mercenary experience is dead even. Just a narrow lead on structure XP thanks to those tower kills on the side of Bananumnums. Level 10s are now available for Bananumnums. We've got Gorge from Craptacula, who's gone very deep for a globe here. I don't know that they're going to make it out, especially with Leoric making the rotation in. They gorge the Leo in an attempt to get it out alive, but in the end, it is a 3v1, so Craptacula will fall. First blood going over to heavy group therapy there. All right, back to the heroics. We've got Gorge, Combustion, interesting. Not what I would have expected. Blink Heal and Archon for Passadar. Looks like we've got Maverick being a little bit more considerate about... There's a great Entomb from Uga, catches 2, followed up by the stuns from Trolls and a Riptire. RGX Maverick will go down along with Code Monkey there. 2 more for the kill count of Heavy Group Therapy. Heroics was, I guess, just the power spike they needed to pull the trigger and start applying pressure to Bananumnums. An excellent Entomb from Uga to catch them right as they were getting into that fort wall there. Really well played. Other heroics for Heavy Group Therapy, we've also got, a 2-person stun here. Looks like there's no serious fireworks. Trolls will get the channel here, and now Heavy Group Therapy have their first objective channel. Craptacula narrowly missing with some of these hooks. Level 13 will be a big advantage for them once they have Fishing Hook unlocked. Falk using the Combustion, and Maverick caught in another Entomb. Bird gets the kill there with a blink in. All the while, objective channel is continuing. A root stops Craptacula from getting very far with Leoric, and it looks like they're going to be just fine. The Blaze falling very low here. One more auto attack from Leoric should do it, and that will, in fact, get 2 more kills on the side of Heavy Group Therapy. 7-0 the kill count now. Bird and Uga doing a great job to body block the rest of Bananumnums, and they have now unlocked their level 13 talents. It's definitely heavily in favor of Heavy Group Therapy now. This is a big power spike for Leoric. Really starts to unlock and reveal what build they're going to take advantage of, be it the auto attack build, Drain Life build, or Wraithwalk build. We've also got a Trap and Maul. Junkrat now able to drop 2 of his steel traps on the battleground for additional zoning. So mid fort goes down. I don't expect top fort to be long for this world. We've got a 4 hero commitment, excuse me, to the bot fort here. And Bird is working away at this fort, and I don't think Falk is going to be able to stop them. A hook and Gorge by Craptacula onto the Leoric once again. Uga able to Wraithwalk their way to safety, however, and they turn around with the Entomb onto 2. Craptacula stunned into the edge of the wall. They're going to go down. RGX Maverick makes it out alive this time. And in top, we have a solo kill. Bird getting the solo kill onto Falk there. So, once again, kills going unanswered by Bananumnums. They've achieved level 13. They were briefly at a talent parity with Heavy Group Therapy, but with a heavy kill lead, Heavy Group Therapy have really gotten that experience in their favor, now with a 3-level lead. This is really where Zeratul and Leoric both start to come online. You can see the auto attack build for Leo at level 13. This also is an important talent for Auriel, Reservoirs of Hope. She's able to bank more healing each time she casts a fully charged Hope bar. And so they're going to be able to group up as they have been with great success. They're looking for Grumpy Kitten here. Looks like they have scooted out without too much trouble. But Heavy Group Therapy have more than enough room to get onto this top boss. A double boss play is going to keep Bananumnums very busy cleaning up the map. Grumpy Kitten, without vision of Heavy Group Therapy, surprised to see them that far out. And Bird, I think, was looking for that opportunity as well. We can see them lurking in mid lane there. Craptacula gets the hook onto Bird, who was in full stealth. Really heads up play, understanding that the unit collision that they were running into must be a Zeratul. But they were unable to get the Gorge, unfortunately, before the blink out. All heroics back on off cooldown. Heavy Group Therapy are here to defend their boss, and they're going deep. A bit of a counter synergy there. Maverick caught in the Entomb again. Uga hitting every single Entomb this game thus far. Code Monkey will get the phase shift onto Craptacula there. And we do have Trolls deep in, but they're able to burrow charge out. This boss is still above 50% HP, and Mac is able to shell away with impunity here. Uga takes tower aggro and is going to stay in range for a bit too long. Another kill now onto Bird. So, able to get some value back. It looks like Oriel spent her Resurrect on Leoric there, who has the ability to reduce his own death timer. Surprised to see it. And level 16s now with those kills online for Bananumnums. We've got Critter Eyes from Brightwing offering Armor Shred for their polymorph. Blaze has unlocked both Collision Course and Thermal Protection at 13 and 16, giving extra damage and cooldown reduction on their stun. Blaze opting for, or I'm sorry, Stitch is opting for Pulverize at 16, really amping up the amount of CC that Stitches brings. Of course, this is a big power spike for Maverick as well. Manticore at 16 will allow them to apply a lot more percent damage pressure to the front line, and we can see how that goes for Uga. Absolutely destroyed here. Bird is coming in on the flank, and there are the warning pings coming out. Mac is in range to get these stalls, but a great stun from Falk, followed up by Craptacula's Gorge. Excellent ult by Trolls will get Mac out of harm's way, but they won't get the interrupt on the objective. Code Monkey taking a lot of damage from Bird as he blinks in there. And Grumpy Kitten is going to run out. Oh my gosh, huge 3-hero stun. Mac falling low here. They're able to escape once again. Uga spawns immediately in tombs, catches many of them, and Trolls gets hooked in. Lots of damage going on to Code Monkey, but Uga is not long for this world. There goes the Bone King once more. A completion on the Containment Strike quest for Oriel, but Heavy Group Therapy have not been able to make their way in on this objective. So it will give Bananumnums the opportunity to get some much needed relief on all of their lanes. They've got a lot of wave pressure building in bot and mid. Of course, with the core mechanic on Alterac, they don't have to worry about taking periodic chip damage on their core, as it does heal back up, but it is nonetheless a welcome relief to have the objective pushing in their favor, especially with Storm Talents on the side of Heavy Group Therapy. We've got Twilight Falls, Falk wandering very far out, caught in the Silence Entomb. The face ship will not be in time. That was an aggressive position for any of Bananumnums to be caught in, and frankly, I'm surprised to see Craptacula, Maverick, and Code Monkey this far up. They're going to have to book it home if they don't want to get caught by this Storm Talent-enabled Heavy Group Therapy team. We also saw the buried alive there from Leoric, checking in on top lane. Bird does get another solo kill, showing a great deal of prowess on the auto-attack Zeratul there. Shield of Hope and Rewind from Oriel and Anubarak, and Cannonballs from Junkrat will round out the Storm Talent tier for Heavy Group Therapy. And Bananumnums still have a lot of ground to make up in that regard. We can see they're trailing by a full level, almost 2 full levels. So, unfortunately, though the waves pushed out and they don't have to worry about their structures, it also means that all of the experience has been pushed away from them. It's going to be tough for them to scale to level 20 without minions at their disposal. All 5 members are back on the battlefield, however. I'd love to see them turtle up, frankly. They're pretty far out. And putting a little bit of damage onto Uga, but Heavy Group Therapy have been doing a great job staying out of vision, masking their position, so it's pretty unsafe for Bananumnums to be where they are. As luck would have it, Heavy Group Therapy are working on this top boss. Checking in on bot boss, it is on to the keep here, so it's gonna take at least 50% of its HP, if not a little bit more. That with the periodic reaver pressure that Heavy Group Therapy have won by getting the fort down in that lane is going to put even more wave pressure into Bananumnums. And with the objective unlocking, we'll see how Heavy Group Therapy choose to play it if they want to push with this boss. I would love to see them back up. Oh, Craptacula gets the Hook Gorge. It's onto the Zeratul, however. There's the Polymorph, but they've got the Blink out. They're able to escape. Probably one of the worst targets to have got in the Gorge, unfortunately. And we can see Storm Talents are available on both sides. Invisible Friends for Brightwing. Burn Notice for Blaze. Gas Bag, the Unstoppable for Stitches. Farflight Quiver for Vala, a very powerful talent. That's going to increase Maverick's threat range. And Twilight Archon. But Maverick out in front again, gets caught into the Silence Entomb, buried alive, getting huge value here. Falk is deep in. They're going to pop the Combustion. It's a lot of damage going on to Trolls there, but it's already 2 kills. Uga's going to fall. And Bird is deep in there. They're able to secure another kill onto Falk, but Bird will play with their life. Resurrect is available, but Grumpy Kitten is going to continue chasing here. They've got move speed on their Q thanks to their level 4 talent, Induction, but it's not going to be enough to finish off the chase. Craptacula trying to continue threatening the rest of Heavy Group Therapy there. So the Wangwin unable to get the res off in that fight. These kills will definitely help Bananumnums fend off. There's the res. All right, so with 3 members of the team up, I think Heavy Group Therapy are likely to finish off these 2 remaining keeps. Bananumnums will have their team up in time to finish off. Oh my god, Grumpy Kitten goes down immediately. There's the Silence Entomb. There's another kill. That's going to be it for game 1. Absolute masterclass put on by Heavy Group Therapy. Lots of great damage done by Bird there on the Zeratul, getting a few solo kills and scaling well into the late game. GG and well played to our 2 teams. An absolute dominant performance from Heavy Group Therapy there in the later half of the game. They got their heroics, and that was all it took for them to turn on. The kill count heavily in their favor. We can take a look at the builds and stats. And the kill count does kind of tell a lot of the story of this match. 7 to 18. And 4 of those 7 were on Leoric, so they are a little bit lower value. Unfortunately, Craptacula was unable to connect the hooks that I think they would have really liked to see on the side of Bananumnums, catching Leoric or Zeratul at times, who both, and Anubarak. So 3 different heroes that all have unstoppable movement abilities to get them out of harm's way. And I also have to give a big shout out to Uga on Leoric. Their entombs were on point every time. They did a great job catching Maverick a number of different occasions there. So a really solid job by the front line of Heavy Group Therapy. Anything else of note? Surprised to see Twilight Falls at 20 for Zeratul. I think Shadow Mending is typically what you go. I couldn't actually tell you, folks. I'm not a Zeratul player. So, you know, if I'm wrong, then go ahead and at me in the chat. I don't know. Yeah, the scaling from Heavy Group Therapy's comp was what won them the day at the end of it. So really well played by them, showing why they like that Alterac Battleground selection. For those who tuned in during Game 1, welcome. Glad to have you. We are watching the 7th place Bananumnums going up against the 3rd place Heavy Group Therapy here. We're off to a exciting start. Already seeing some non-standard picks out of Heavy Group Therapy, the Zeratul, as mentioned. And an auto-attack Zeratul player is easily a target ban if I'm on the side of Bananumnums in this game, in this second game. They are likely to opt for first pick once again, as that's what they did when they had won the coin toss. But it didn't seem like Maverick was really respecting the engage range of the Leoric and Anubarak. So I'd love to see a little bit more reserved play. Perhaps it's just a matter of getting on a different hero, though I know Maverick does do a lot of Vala play themselves. Jimmy, just so you know, all of the talents are visible up in the top bar there. I will continue to show them periodically, but they are all next to the hero portraits in the Observer UI. So even if I don't have them showing, you should be able to see them. They are a bit small, I understand, but they're there because invariably I won't have them up when you want them up. So I hope that that'll help everyone see what they want to when they want to. I was also interested to see the Wanguin opt for Resurrect at level 10. I would think the Crystal Aegis on the Gorge target, I guess that is a tricky one to get in range for. So I guess the thought process there would be, we may lose one to a Hook Gorge, but we can always bring them back if they die out of position. I also really liked the Anubarak pick into the Stitches. Anub definitely the favorable end of the matchup between the two tanks there, with Cocoon is what it's called. Cocoon popping enemies out of Stitch's Gorge. And it looks like we do have our next battleground selected. It is going to be Dragonshire, as selected by Heavy Group Therapy again. A very different battleground from Alterac Pass. It's another one that does favor some lane independence from the different players, but the point capture nature of top lane and bottom lane really shifts the emphasis into taking smart, efficient damage trades and solid rotations from mid lane. Whichever team is able to make the rotations from mid over either to top or bot to kind of both get the experience and shift the hero advantage in their favor, will likely be able to control the Dragon Knight a lot more successfully. So we'll see how our teams approach the draft here. We could see another Junkrat pick. It is a great selection just because of all of the vision that Junkrat's various spells offer, both Steel Trap and Concussion Mine, offering persistent vision, which can be all important for controlling the delta, the triangle bush in the middle there. And it's another map that can scale late into the game. We may see another Zeratul from Bird if it makes it through the ban phase. I don't know that I would let it through the ban phase if I'm on the side of Bananumnums. Looks like we still have a few players filtering into the lobby, so we will get started soon. What else can we say about these drafts? Taking a look at how the Brightwing pick for Bananumnums, definitely another valuable pick for Dragonshire, this battleground. Being, as mentioned, you know, if you can rotate someone from mid to top, that'll shift that fight in favor of your top laner. Similarly, if your healer can just teleport across the entire battleground and give someone a big chunk of health, that also tends to be a valuable way to shift a duel in your team's favor. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Bananumnums get a hold or emphasize picking that up early again. I'd be surprised to see these same bans from last game. We had the Stukov, Anduin, Nazebo, and Johanna first bans. And I do not think of Dragonshire as a particularly good Nazebo battleground. The rotations are just a little too difficult to make safely for an efficient double soaking, which is really what Nazebo wants to do to make sure that they get as many violent infection stacks as they can. So we'll see if that ban doesn't change on the side of heavy group therapy. And if they don't ban the Nazebo, we'll see if Bananumnums take the opportunity to grab that hero, as it is one of their favorites. I don't believe their Nazebo player is here tonight, however. So that would change things. All right, we've actually got readies from both of our squads now, so we can get into our first draft, or our second draft for Game 2. I would love to see Bananumnums get a little bit more out of their DPS picks in this draft. There's the Zeratul ban, as expected. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Well, the point is you can't get fooled again. So, you wouldn't let the Zeratul through twice, now would you? Bird absolutely crushing it on that hero. Not surprised to see it taken out there. Heavy group therapy, we'll see if they still emphasize that Nazebo ban. It's going to be Joe first this time. Not surprised. As mentioned in the first draft, Johanna's still a very strong pick, a reliable pick as well. One that is hard to go wrong with on any battleground. There's the Anubarak ban. Alright, so target bans on both heroes that Bananumnums felt were the larger issues for Game 1. A strong deviation from their initial draft strategy, but I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, you get more information and you're able to make more informed decisions there. So I think this battleground is great for both Zeratul and Anubarak. I think these are excellent adaptations. There's the Brightwing ban. All right. Not surprised to see the Brightwing ban there. As mentioned, she is a powerful hero on the battleground. And it's going to be Anduin first pick. Followed up by a Junkrat. Okay. Kind of surprised to see the Anduin first, but I guess Code Monkey feels that they perform best on the hero. We will see Junkrat again for Mac, and Trolls will pick up Muradin. Muradin, another strong tank for the battleground with his ability to engage over walls and from out of vision. It can be a huge benefit for your team in making up a sneaky engagement. Vala and Blaze, once again, for the side of Bananumnums. Maverick hoping to get a little bit of redemption after a difficult Game 1 with all of Heavy Group Therapy targeting the Vala, almost as if he'd gone a Gambit talent, which he didn't. No tank yet selected for Bananumnums. I'd expect to see a tank ban here out of Heavy Group Therapy. It's going to be the Stitches ban. Okay. So they also are happy to change up their draft strategy and address things that they did not like out of the enemy team from Game 1. Dragonshire can be a challenging map to play against the Stitches on. There's another Alex Straza ban. Really targeting the Wangwin there. It is a favorite hero on the side of Heavy Group Therapy, so not surprised to see that ban. Next two picks, they still need an offlane and a healer, as well as one more flex. It's going to be Leo, once again, and Greymane. Leoric trades favorably into Blaze in top lane. There's Nazeebo. It got through. They like the hero. I'll be interested to see if it's the special sauce they need. I think this is their second, if not first, most selected assassin. And ETC. Excellent. So ETC could be in the off lane as well. If you spec into Stage Dive, he is a global. I don't think his matchup into Leoric is any better than Blaze's, but it's an option that they could swap around. Tyrande, okay, for the support. Alright, so let's take a look at these drafts as we get into Game 2 here. Junkrat, Muradin, Tyrande all strike me as really strong picks for Dragonshire. On the other side, we do have a decent amount of damage trading available to Bananumnums through Vala and Nazeebo. Tyrande is not known for her sustained healing throughput. So that may be Bananumnums' path to victory. Doing a war of attrition of sorts could be in their favor. We'll see how it works out. We'll see if we can make it to a game 3. Let's introduce our teams once again. On the left, we've got Bananumnums, Code Monkey on Anduin, Grumpy Kitten on Nazebo, Falk playing Blaze, Craptacula on ETC, and RXG Maverick playing Vala. To the right in red, we've got Heavy Group Therapy, Bird on Greymane, Trolls playing Murden, Uga on Leoric, the Wanguin on Tyrande, and Mac playing Junkrat. Checking in on our level 1 talents, we've got a Spider build from Nazebo, Widowmakers at level 1, and Puncturing Arrow, for Maverick on Vala. Changing up the spec from game 1. A great zombie wall, but Trolls does have the Dwarf Toss to get out. Craptacula taking a lot of damage on the front line, thanks to the Hunter's Mark from Wanguin. A little bit of a wave clear advantage going over to Bananumnums. Falk looking for another stun. Trolls falls low, but they'll be able to heal back up with their second wind trait. All the while, Mac has been in bot lane, pushing out that wave there, doing a great job to stay on top of the experience. One minute brings us to our first mercenaries of the game, Heavy Group Therapy, starting right up on the siege camp, and Bananumnums not far behind them there. I like how much focus Bananumnums have been giving to this mid lane, rotating their wave clear to take care of it. However, it is giving Heavy Group Therapy the opportunity to get onto this bruiser camp in top lane. This is going to shift the balance of top in their favor pretty heavily. Mac has already set up here. There's the power slide. Junkrat in a lot of trouble here. Grumpy Kitten gets the spiders. Maverick able to get the hungering arrow rather, as well. Falk 3v1 up in top lane. And it looks like Heavy Group Therapy are set up to push with Tyrande and Greymane. Both really good for pressuring Blaze and applying pressure to the structures in this top lane. Of course, Bananumnums are able to apply some pressure here to bot lane as well. Their siege camp just now going down. But I think in top lane we can see another hero committed. Trolls has joined the push. Grumpy Kitten making an aggressive rotation here, but I don't think Trolls has their Dwarf Toss available. An excellent stun from Wanguin will draw first blood. Really well played. The raw stun from Tyrande there. Able to catch that Nazebo. In bot lane, they answer back. Bananumnums are on the board, taking out the Junkrat, and they still have both of the shrines channeled to top lane. The Wanguin just now capturing top shrine and evening out the objective pressure. But the push continues. Grumpy Kitten and Falk are having trouble stopping Heavy Group Therapy from getting a lot of this fort HP. Half of the fort in top down before the 4th minute of the game is a pretty big advantage on the side of Heavy Group Therapy, and it's a matchup that is already in the Leoric's favor. So it's going to be tough for Falk to deal with now that they don't have a front wall. Checking in on bot, we've got Craptacula and Mac duking it out. I don't know. Alright, Craptacula will get the slide out thanks to their level 4 power slide talent. Crowd Surfer. Uga, rotated on by the 4 heroes of Bananumnums, will take about half of their HP. But Bird and Trolls are happy to keep pushing here in top lane. They're going to finish off this fort, I think, before Bananumnums are able to stop them. Incorrect. They're able to fend it off with just a fraction of HP left. Craptacula doing the best they can to keep control of this bottom point, but ETC has a great deal of trouble dealing with Junkrat there. Lots of great push and pull on both sides. Bird hidden in the bush here. The Wangwin looking for another raw Lunar Flare. It won't hit it. A great Stormbolt catches Maverick, but there's no follow-up damage from Heavy Group Therapy. Definitely some clean rotations from our red team. Of course, on the side of Bananumnums, they're really looking to scale. They're doing a great job of not losing the objective. Mac is playing it really safe here in bot lane, but it is allowing them to apply a little bit of pressure to that front wall. Of course, bot lane is largely considered the more important on the battleground because of how difficult it is to end the game through top lane. The bridge that is a feature of the geography makes it really challenging for teams to not get clumped up and in danger. Bird eats the stun from Craptacula. Another raw Lunar Flare lands by Wangwin. And heroics are unlocked here. Trolls taking a lot of damage. They do still have their avatar, and they're going to have to pop it here. Heroics just around the corner for Bananumnums. Bird going in on the Mavericks. They have not selected their heroic yet, so it could very well be a go for the throat. Wouldn't be too surprising to see that heroic selected. We've equalized on the talent tier, and in top, or in mid lane, Uga gets the solo kill onto the Blaze. There's the kill from Mac onto Maverick once again, and Bird is going in onto Grumpy Kitten, who sidesteps the concussion mine. Really well done. Craptacula eats another stun, and there's the Avenging Spirit? Ravenous Spirit. Code Monkey eats the full stun value of Dirty Trickster, and that death is going to allow Heavy Group Therapy to capture the first objective of the game, Dragon Knight going over to Group Therapy. And they're going to continue pressuring top lane with the objective, freeing up their remaining 4 heroes. Stage Dive goes off, I guess, to top lane. Okay. So this 4-hero push from Heavy Group Therapy is not going to get a lot of response from Bananumnums. Maverick alone is not really safe to step up too far here. A jump in from Trolls could spell doom for the Vala player. Checking in on the Dragon Knight. We've got a little bit of damage getting put onto the wall, but in the end, it's Muradin who goes down, likely eating a jet propulsion there under the fort. Cursed Bullet out onto Craptacula, and they're looking for a little bit more chase. Grumpy Kitten gets the zombie wall. A couple of hungering arrows go after the Wangwin, and it will seal the deal. Uga caught in mid lane here, so 4 kills now going over to Bananumnums. They're narrowing that experience gap towards level 13. Actually taking the lead in hero kills, but still behind by about 2,000 on the minion experience front. And of course, less mercenary experience as well, with Heavy Group Therapy having a heavy focus on that top lane bruiser camp. Level 13's on both sides now. Uga opting for Ominous Wraith this time around. The E build for Leoric, able to reduce damage of Bananumnums. Can be very effective into heroes with slower damage, like Grumpy Kitten on the Nazebo. Mac kind of cut off from his team. Will eat the stun from Vala, but they're able to make the escape. Spider's just almost taking them out there. So 4v4, Grumpy Kitten caught on an island. Mac looking for the Riptire. Will cancel it early. Stage dive in from Craptacula will zone the rest of Heavy Group Therapy, but Trolls is looking to continue chasing onto the ETC. Another raw flare from Wangowin catches 3. The retreat is hectic, but Bananumnums look like they're going to make it out alive. Some intense support play from Code Monkey there, getting the rest of their allies out alive. All the while, we've got Uga pushing in waves in mid and top. Falk is able to trade a little more favorably now that they've unlocked their level 13 talent Collision Course, really amping up the damage pressure that they can put on Leoric, but with Drain Hope as a basic ability, it's hard for a meaty health pool like Falk to really threaten a % healing and damage of Leoric. Level 16's nearing for Heavy Group Therapy. It's a important power spike for Leoric, at least. And can also increase the threat range of Meridian's Engage if they opt for Dwarf Launch. And Bananumnums have once again secured the channel on both top and mid objectives. Of course, this is right as Heavy Group Therapy take on that next talent tier. Craptacula looking to global into mid lane, but Uga is in range to prevent them from capturing. And that is the green light for Heavy Group Therapy to go onto Maverick, getting that kill there in bot lane. And that will also buy them space to get onto this bottom bruiser camp. I'd expect to see them push with this camp and finish off bottom fort. We've also got Uga setting up on the top lane, so they will have objective pressure in mid, as well as lane pressure here in bot lane. The world is their oyster. But Bananumnums have secured an even talent tier fight. Grumpy Kitten receives the light bomb. Code Monkey falling low here, but Grumpy Kitten is the first to fall. Code Monkey followed up by Next. A great invade by Heavy Group Therapy will have them have a little bit of a build-a-boss down here in bot lane. A large wave, spell armor, siege damage from this siege giant camp. They've got a lot behind them, and Maverick has no healer to support them. They're going to have to wait for their tap to get a little bit better. And there's the Dwarf Launch in from Trolls, unable to connect with the Stormbolt, but it's going to be enough to zone Mavericks off and secure the keep for Bananumnums. Checking in on top, we've got Uga once again getting onto the objective. This will buy Group Therapy another opportunity at getting into the Dragon Knight. Would love to see Trolls or Mac hop in. Craptacula with no vision takes the risky jump, but makes it out, is not caught in the entomb. However, Heavy Group Therapy are in range and will get the channel on the Dragon Knight. So second DK going over to the red team. They're on the hunt, and they're headed straight down to bot lane. Looks like they are not worried about putting any additional pressure onto the mid fort, instead trying to end the video game as quickly as possible. A rotation is scouted by the Steel Trap. Craptacula has to power slide out of there. And the Dragon Knight has been unattended. Kind of surprising. We'll see how much push Bananumnums are able to get done here. Maverick's putting a lot of pressure on with their Hungering Arrow, but that's a lot of damage going on with Craptacula. Great healing and a stun from Code Monkey. There's the stage dive, doesn't connect with anyone. Grumpy Kitten doing a lot of damage with their Ravenous Spirit, but I think Heavy Group Therapy are likely to make it out alive. So not much progress made with that objective phase. I think if they had been a little bit more reserved and walked through mid, maybe pressured the keep wall, they would have at least gotten the experience from the towers in mid, gotten them all the closer to that Storm talent tier. Of course, they have quite the lead to their Storm talents, thanks to their superior hero kill experience, primarily 8-4 on the kill count there. And now they're just setting up in the bush, seeing if Bananumnums make a sloppy rotation. Grumpy Kitten is in Dwarf launch range, but they're going to get support from the rest of Bananumnums. The double steel traps from Mac doing so much to give heavy group therapy a safe setup here. Uga charging in. The Entomb is just wide. Falk goes in, eats the cursed bullet, has to drop the bunker. Camp goes over to heavy group therapy, but they get the kill onto Tyrande. So 1-for-1 now. Bananumnums are going to still be on the retreat here. Definitely not the outcome that group therapy was hoping for with that invade. They're able to secure the camp, but they lose their healer. It is very hard to fight when there is no sustain left. An absolute massive pickup for the side of Bananumnums. Really well played to them. And with this objective unlocking, it's going to be tough. The objective unlocks as there is massive wave pressure against Bananumnums. Heavy group therapy might just get a fast cap on this. We do see Mac setting up on the top shrine. They're in range in mid as well. Uga immediately gets the touch onto the Dragon Knight, so it is a fast cap. Level 20s on Bananumnums have been unlocked. We've got Crowd Pleaser from ETC, Burn Notice for Blaze, the big power spike for Grumpy Kitten on Nazebo. Vile Infection has been complete. They're at 212 stacks. They've done a great job keeping up with those minions. We've also got Acrobat from Vala and Inner Fire, rather. Maverick takes the stun, vaults into another stun. Code Monkey will have to pull them out. And Craptacular goes down very fast. Falk eats the Riptire before the bunker goes off. They're taking a lot of damage from Bird and Trolls, and with a kill on the front line, it's going to be tough. Maverick's taking so much damage from Mac, but it's the Murden who goes down first. Core is taking a lot of damage, and Bird is connected, but they're going to eat a bunch of damage from the Ravenous Spirit. It's not going to be in time, however. Game goes over to heavy group therapy, a great push in the end. The level 20s were online for Bananumnums. They did hit the power spike that they wanted to scale to, but unfortunately they had fallen a little too far behind in the earlier part of the game. And so Red Team Heavy Group Therapy is able to take it in a 2-0. Checking in on our stats, we can see top of the charts for Nazebo and Junkrat, respectively. Mac doing a great job getting a lot of value out of cannonballs at level 20. We saw how much damage they were able to apply to Maverick there on that final push. Anything else stick out to me? A bit of a hybrid build from Uga, going for Ominous Wraith at 13 and Mithril Mace at 16. Celestial Attunement from Wanguin at 16. Tyrande's Soft Cleanse, a great pickup. Really able to relieve some of the CC pressure from Falk and Craptacula. Let me see if I can't find our teams for an interview. And it looks like I will be able to get a hold of someone. So really well played from Heavy Group Therapy. They were able to control the rotations on their battleground selection once again. They did a great job there. Not surprised to see it. And it looks like we do have our interviewee joining us. I'm going to be joined here by Bird from Heavy Group Therapy. GG, well played. How are you feeling after your domination?
Hey, GG, feel good. Thanks for casting for us. I thought my team played well. Bananumnums, respectable opponent. GG to them as well.
Definitely, definitely. So let's talk a little bit about the series. Game 1, you guys opted for Alterac Pass, and I thought that your draft for it was rock solid. Getting the Anubarak and the Junkrat both kind of a coup in my mind. Was that something that you guys were expecting to get a hold of, or are those draft picks that you typically see banned away from y'all?
It's so early in the season, it's hard to say, but Junkrat's banned pretty frequently. There's a handful of heroes that can poke the objective pretty well there. Junkrat's a great one. We were happy to get a hold of it. Anoob's great on that map as well, just because of the rotations and the potential to backcap as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have to also highlight your auto attack Zero Tool play. There were at least 2 solo kills that you got. Correct me if I'm wrong
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, like it.
You, yeah.
As someone who has never pretended that they could ever play Zero Tool, I'm always very impressed. I saw that paired with the Leoric and kind of figured that you guys were comfortable scaling into the late game. Is that a typical approach for you on Alterac, given the objective mechanics and core mechanics?
If we're gonna draft a late game hero like that, I'd say yeah, we want to play slow. Just rotate, make sure we're getting all the soak. We gave that first objective. We were pretty okay with that. Felt comfortable defending. So yeah, if we're gonna draft like that, playing for the late games, something that we're comfortable with.
Definitely, definitely. And talking a little bit about game 2, I noticed that there was a swap on your approach to the bans, singling out the stitches. I didn't feel like you folks had too much trouble with the stitches in game 1. Is that more of a tech pick for the Dragonshire selection? Walk me through that one.
Yeah, we saw the Anduin, and if someone gets gorged and light bomb, that's pretty much the end of them. Mm-hmm. Not that Stitches is necessarily the strongest pick on D-Shire, but given that we were picking up a Tyrande, we didn't really have a way to deal with that kind of scenario, so we just wanted to remove that.
Definitely.
We know they play a good Diablo as well, but we felt that we could deal with that, given we had a Grey Mane and a Leoric. We had plenty of percent damage. So more of a targeted thing. We felt like out of the 2 tanks that we're aware of, that was the one that we'd rather deal with. That's the reasoning there.
Makes a lot of sense. I loved your early rotation to top lane, that heavy emphasis with the Greymane, Tyrande, and Muradin push. I think turned what was already a winning matchup for Uga on the Leoric into Blaze into a foregone conclusion. And it also demanded a response. I noticed that you guys gave over the shrines early, but it didn't mean that Bananumnums were able to cap the objective. So really heads up rotations from y'all to know that as long as we've got someone in mid, we are safe, and get maximum value out of that bruiser camp there.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
of course... Oh, please go ahead.
I was going to say that the nice thing about having a Junkrat bot is that, you know, even if they have 4 people down there, he's clearing the wave so fast that we're not too scared of that building going down ultra quickly. The 3-man that we sent up there with like the Tyrande, the Greymane, and the Muradin, it's got a lot of pick potential, so it definitely puts a threat against the Blaze. We were pretty comfortable just kind of saying, you know, if you want to race us trying to take bot while we take top, I think we're comfortable doing that. We're going to try to outrace you to take that structure. If not, it puts them in a weird situation where they have to respond to it and just kind of throws things off, you know.
Definitely, yeah. A strong macro understanding of the map. Heads-up rotations, really solid. There was a little bit more sign of life from Bananumnums in the team fights, or I guess it was mostly isolated picks, but the kill count for Game 2 definitely a little bit closer than in Game 1, but it was the late-game decisive team fights from you guys that really pushed it over the edge. That invade on the bottom siege camp in particular, after you'd already gotten the bruiser camp, you were able to turn it into a build-a-boss and take down bottom keep. So kudos once again on like those heads-up rotations and being able to scout out where Bananumnums were. I guess last question I've got... Oh yeah, go for it.
The vision from the Tyrande definitely helps there. We have... Wangwin's been shot calling for us, and she's been doing a great job, so shout out to her for that.
Yeah, definitely. And also the vision offered by Junkrat. I love how much attention was paid to vision for a battleground like Dragonshire through the Junkrat traps and the Tyrande owls. Like, you guys were able to see half the battleground at any given time. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely helps.
The second to last DK, I think you guys marched straight to core. How confident were y'all in this is where we end there? Like, what are comms like in that moment? Are you guys looking for picks? Are you guys hoping to end the game right there? Talk me through that penultimate push.
I think, you know, in that moment, we made a call to see if we can end. I think that's something that we're going to have to look at and review whether or not, you know, that's possible. Maybe we should have played for a pick. Maybe we should have played for the mid fort or keep. It's hard to say. We're going to have to revisit that. There's a lot of armor on the core there, so I'm glad we got out, you know, relatively unscathed.
Yeah, definitely.
After that attempt.
Definitely. I mean, sometimes you have to sacrifice a Muradin for the good of the squad, and that's okay. Trolls wearing that badge honorably. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Before I let you get back to celebrating with your team, the floor is yours for any shout-outs you'd like to give.
Yeah, just one more shout-out to Bananumnums. We had a good time playing. They're a great team, respectable team. Shout out to my team. Been practicing a lot, and it's really been showing. I'm proud of them. Teal has been coaching us. He's been doing an awesome job. And my mom. Gotta thank my mom.
Hell yeah. Excellent. And shout outs to moms everywhere.
That's right.
We love you, moms. Well, Bird, thank you so much for the interview. Have a great evening.
You as well. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
All right, there you have it, folks. A solid 2-0 from Heavy Group Therapy, and you heard our Captain Bird there talking about the coaching they're doing, hearing their thoughts on how to approach the battlegrounds. I definitely think Heavy Group Therapy have a great understanding of the macro of these more rotation-heavy maps, so it's definitely something to keep an eye out for in the rest of the season as we move forward. Definitely looking like a scary team to go up against. All right, I am going to sign off now. Before I do, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I also want to give a huge shout out of my own to all of the artists, musicians, and programmers whose work I use as part of my stream. It wouldn't be possible without all of their hard work, and you can check out all of that work. Below the video, I've got links to all of their socials and various websites. There's also going to be a credit roll after I sign off, so stick around if you want to see them scrolling by. Until next time, you've all been fantastic. I've been the Sound. Good luck, have fun, peace, and love.